Happy Monday, everybody. We got to talk about uranium. Uranium got shellacked on Friday. Uranium stocks down big, especially the bigger ones, the big producers. I told you last week to take some profits, and that turned out to be right now. Let's talk about the situation in the uranium stocks, and let me give you two uranium stocks that I'm watching like a hawk once the correction is done for a great buying opportunity. Welcome to Hot Trades of the Day, your show for swing trading ideas for the coming days, weeks, and month. Okay, let me start off with first congratulating the Oklahoma Thunder and all the fans for the first championship. And yes, the one from the Sonics does not count. First one for you guys. Still, fantastic. Congratulations. Now, let's jump into uranium. This is the URA. I told you last week, I warned you last week, we're overheated, we're due for a correction, and it is setting up like it. And that's no magical superpower of me to predict this. Since April, we basically doubled in an ETF. You know things are overheated when that's the case. Now, partially, uranium stocks were oversold and undervalued, but still 100% in about 2 months. That's too much. So, where do we go from here? Well, I clearly outlined where we're going to go in the URA. We are seeing in the RSI, we're losing dynamic. The buying dynamics are fading. We're definitely going to close this open gap. That's a certainty. But now, if this downward dynamic takes on steam, then we'll test the uptrend, this double zone right here, with the uptrend and the upper end of this former resistance zone, now support, 34. Now, that would be a good area to get in on the long side. If you like the content, help us get to 2,500 subscribers. And as a thank you, we'll start a real money portfolio with gold mining stocks, uranium mining stocks, and Bitcoin. Some of the bigger, more popular stocks got really hard, like energy fuels. I told you pretty much at the top end of the upper end channel to take profits. That turned out to be really good. Cameco, man, it looks like an island reversal if there ever was one. It's holding up because that's the one where all the institutional money is flowing in. But boy, I mean, if you're still long in it, I would recommend to take some profits. Oklo is the big one, right? That's the crazy one. Got absolutely killed on Friday, obviously. Now, where do we stand here? Because Oklo, while it's crazy, also fantastic for swing trading. We made a new all-time high, so that's positive, right? We have this base, we have the bottoming base finished. We have a big opening gap here. Not sure if we're going to get there. We have an opening gap here on the close. Now, it got filled intraday, but depending on how you like to do your gaps on closes or intraday, this one is still open around 50. And I think this is the zone where we're going. This zone right here between 53 and 50, and then we need to assess, maybe jump all the way back down to like 47, see what's going on. Definitely don't need to rush into buying this one. Your energy, that one got killed. That stings, right? All this work to finally break above the downtrends, to finally break above this horizontal resistance zone, and then got pulled right back into it. Let's wait what's going on with this one. However, this is one of the stocks I like. I like UR Energy because we have a change in trend. We have higher highs. We are making higher lows. If this can hold here at this gap fill, this lower purple line, which would mean that it's holding above, let me zoom out so you see what I mean, the lower end of the downtrend channel and regroup there, this could be really, really interesting as a long trade. This has been a lagger and just moved up recently, really in June, mostly because it's one of the smaller producers, so it goes last. And again, not that much institutional money going in. But this one on weakness, which is likely coming, would be ideal. And probably the best way to play this would be you buy half here, you buy half if it tests the uptrend successfully. Right? You put a stop close below it, and then you're in. The one that's holding up well is BWX Technology, which I also recommended for profit taking at the upper end of the channel. probably that's looking okay for you right now, but this one is holding up nicely. However, I would like to point out that BWX, which is not a uranium company, it's basically a SMR reactor construction company. So they have a little different, they connect a little different to the uranium stocks. But if we go back in time, we see it takes them a while to break, but when they break, they flush, right? Takes them a little while, then they flush. Takes them a little while, waterfall, right? Waterfall, waterfall. So this is what you need to be aware of. Takes them a little while, waterfall. That's the behavioral pattern. Right now, the nuclear energy investors are hiding in the stocks like BWX Technologies, so the SMR companies. But at some point, if the market goes weaker, they will come out, and then the stock will break down quickly. We have two gap fills here that I pointed out here on 126 and 120. Obviously, 120, which will also be the lower end of the uptrend channel, that would be the ideal buy zone to get in on BWX, which I really like and overall looks quite good. The other company that I also really like, obviously, you know this, Energy Fuels. If it goes down to this double support zone around $5, this is definitely a stock that I'm watching and that I then would buy a long position in, would consider buying a long position depending on the overall market. But that is where we stand right now. I would wait on Oklo. I would take some profits in Chemical. I would take some profits in BWX if you haven't done so, because some of the other ones have already rolled over, and you can clearly see when we look at the URA, you can clearly see we're going down, right? We need it. It's healthy. If we look at this, I mean, we basically doubled without any major correction. We got a little consolidation over time here, little consolidation, but nothing major, right? We need to calm down, to have the sector cool down. We know this is how uranium works, right? It's momentum driven. If it goes, and then it takes a breather. But I don't think at all that this uranium bull market is over already. I just think we need a breather, and that's normal. And I understand that most of you don't like sell recommendations. All they want to hear is buy, 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 and go to the moon. But if we're talking about swing trading, if we're talking about being successful in the market, that is my job too, to say, hey, take some profits here. And I'll be wrong plenty of times, and I'll be early plenty of times selling. But if you only listen to people that tell you to buy and don't listen to tell you when to sell, might reconsider who you're listening to, because that is a very important part of the market. So the world is not crumbling. The world is not falling apart. If you're a uranium investor, not at all. This is the normal cycle of any uptrend. We had a super great time for the past 2 months. We're partying. Okay, now we need to take our electrolytes and our vitamins and have a long nap and regain strength. And then the next party is going to start. Have a great start to the week. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.